this is part of another series, Why Marriage May Not Be For Me. And I know a lot of you are like, but relax. I didn't say I would never get married. I didn't say that it's just of the devil. I'm just pointing out a few reasons that I find where people are a little hypocritical, subscribing a little too deeply into group think, what I call group think. That's the new wave of, social media, and what one person has an opinion and everybody has to hop on it. Y'all see that? Girl, this hair is growing. But I digress. So everyone subscribes to this group think where everyone feels like they have to be uniform and cookie cutter about everything with their thoughts and with their dress or whatever it is. I don't subscribe to that. Let me just preface this by saying this is this vlog is in correlation to the blog that is posted on thejoyboston.com, and be sure to check that out. And subscribe and follow and all that good stuff. Register for the newsletter. You know the drill. You heard it before. Reason 101 why marriage may not be for me. Everybody say it with me. For me. And I need you to say joy for you. Because some people get in their feelings because you have a different opinion and call it hating or I know some of y'all, you don't want to get married, girl. I didn't say I didn't want to get married. It just may not be for me. I'm aware some of these reasons may seem petty to some people, but that's okay. I can be honest and transparent enough when some of you cannot or will not, but I'll do it for you. It's okay to know your limitations and your boundaries. Sometimes people really can try you. And I hate to grow up thinking that my validation in this world, according to whomever, is that I'm married, or as a woman, that I've had a child. That's what makes me a woman. No, being a woman is something that you have to grow into being. Being a female, my perception of that is the anatomy part of it. But being a woman is a mindset, because I can be 35 years old and still act like a little girl. Y'all know some of these little girls in grown women bodies. Be honest. Just because I'm over the age of 21 doesn't always just make me a woman. Feel me? Okay, so we're on the same page. It's okay when you know you're not that much of a people person. And it doesn't always have to be people outside of your comfort zone. It can be people in your comfort zone that get on your nerves just as much as anyone on the street. Family can get on your nerves. Friends can get on your nerves. Your loved one can get on your nerves. We can all admit it. It's okay. And it's okay to embrace asexuality. Not everyone is super hypersexualized and can't live unless they make some sort of sexual innuendos. Not everyone is just charged off of everybody they see is Not everybody's like that. Not everybody operates under that guise. Like, he's cute, he's alright. I mean, okay, you handsome. Congratulations. And there's more to life. So not everyone feels that being attached to another human is the end-all be-all. And for me, it's not. It's great if it happens, but it's not my, Lord, please just send me a man, Lord. So it's okay to know yourself and what works best for you. That's all I'm saying. This vlog series, I'm just expressing why I'm not particularly enticed to Tootsie Roll down the aisle, nay, my way into I doisms. I've always liked that saying, One shouldn't make a permanent decision on a temporary fill in the blank emotion, a temporary feeling, a temporary circumstance, whatever it is. That's why I personally don't think people should rush into marriage, because the honeymoon phase, that reverse honeymoon phase in the beginning is magnificent. When it's new and it's fresh and it's great, but that's before you really get to know each other and the newness, the novelty, the infatuation wears off. Now, I'm not saying that it won't work, because there are some people who have known each other their entire life, get married, and divorce the same amount of time. There are other people that barely know each other's middle name, get married, and stay married for years. So I don't put a time limit on that. Again, I don't subscribe to group think. At least as much as possible, I try not to. You may really feel like you're in love with someone and he's just the greatest thing, and then 1 year later, you may still be on that cloud. 5 years later, you may still be there. Most people aren't still there 5 years later. You know, it's just temporary. I may like you now, but I really don't. And that may be permanent. That's the permanent part of it. You see what I'm saying? The jury is still out early on. You got to wait until you get the real gist of who this person is. I know so many couples who were in love when they first met, and it continued, and when they got married, everything's great in the beginning, and y'all just getting it in. It's just great. And then after a while, you realize you put up with a lot from them just because you start to lose interest, start to lose patience, and you eventually grow apart. Some of them stay because they feel trapped. That is one of the worst feelings. Whew, Father. That's one of the worst feelings, when you stay with someone because you feel trapped. And if this is you, if this is someone, if this is one person, I don't care who this reaches, find a way. I'm a firm believer. Everyone deserves to be happy in their way. You may not like it. So if I'm with someone and they be like, you know what, this isn't working out for me, and it's happened, and they've left, I may not like it at first, but I have to respect it. They deserve to live their life the way they want to live it. I deserve to live mine the way I want to live it. So I don't leave my happiness and my destiny and the path I want to take, the journey I want to take, in someone else's hands. Now, it may include you. It may not. But that's my decision to make. It's my life. Sometimes when you're feeling trapped and you're just scared to, well, I don't want to, well, you know, we have the kids and what. I'm not advising anyone to break up their home. All I'm saying is you have to do what's best for you, or what you feel is best. And sometimes that hurts, because you feel that staying for the kids is best, you sacrifice your own psyche, your own happiness. And sometimes that's a rough spot. Some people stay just because they want to save face from their family and their friends. They want to make sure they wear a ring, you know. Oh, I got to make sure I keep my ring on, you know. They're church members. They don't want to, I don't want them to know I got a divorce. Why? If he's going upside your head, they damn sure can see the black eye. But you want to make sure they see. I'm listening. You don't have to put on the front for anyone. Again, I don't care. If it ain't working, it ain't working. It is what it is. Some people stay just because that's what they were taught. You were taught and told that he's going to be a man, she's going to be a woman, You gotta, you don't get divorced. You stay married. You don't get divorced. Some people will be loved to death. Some people who aren't able to talk right now because they were loved to death, but they were taught to stay. Now that they're gone, it's, oh, I wish he. Some people stay because they don't want to change their last name back. It feels embarrassing. Or they don't want to find a new place to go. They don't want to have to find an apartment. Now it's like, how are we going to separate all of this shit we done got together? Oh my goodness, how am I going to maintain? How am I going to manage? How am I going to, so there are different reasons why people stay in these unhappy marriages. There are different reasons how they got to being unhappy. It just varies. Each situation is different. Each resolution is different as well. So what works for you may not work for me, and vice versa. It's not always cut and dry. It's not always black and white. There are plenty of gray shades in between. But the fact of the matter is, it's sad when you're a grown behind woman and can't be free to be who you want to be. Some women want to work outside the home. Husbands don't want them to. Some want to stay home with the kids. Husband don't want them to. Can't even support you. Today's society has a paradigm where it just must be adhered to, or so they think. Once you reach a certain age, you're questioned. Well, when will you have a boyfriend? You don't have a boyfriend? Oh my God, you don't have a boyfriend. And it's as soon as you get the boyfriend. Oh, I have a boyfriend now, Well, when are you getting engaged? When are you going to get engaged? You're not engaged? He hasn't asked you yet? Oh my goodness. He hasn't chose you? No. And then you get engaged. Well, when are you getting married? You're not married yet? Oh my goodness, what are you waiting on? You haven't set a date? Are you? You get married. Well, when are you having a child? You haven't had a child yet? Oh my goodness, you haven't had a child. You're not following protocol. Then you have a child. When are you having another one? Shut the fuck up and mind your motherfucking business. Don't worry about what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know when we're having another one. We're waiting. That's horrible. That's horrible. Who wants to live that way? My question is, when you gonna mind your business? When you gonna mind your business? I don't question people about stuff like that. And if you do that now, you got to get out that mind frame and you got to sort of ask other questions. Ask something else. Stop pressuring people into doing what you think they need to be doing. You do what works for you. Let them do what works best for them. It's not your concern. Now, it's one thing if you're joking and every now and then we be like, oh, girl, you next. That's a little different. But to keep, well, when are you doing this? When are you doing that? When are you going to shut the fuck up? Shit. And it's like, God forbid you buck the system. You're an infidel. You're a social misfit. And it's not this system that surprises me. After all, little girls are bred to be moms. We're bred to be caregivers. We're bred to be wives. We're given the mommy and daddy dolls at birth. We're given the play nurse and the kitchen sets and the vacuums. And everybody loved that little vacuum with them little balls pop up. That toy was a joint. Boys were given what? Cars, trucks, action figures, men, little army men and action figures to fight amongst each other. And then, so, then we wonder why they're so into those things, and we wonder why we're pushed to be so into these things. And it's just annoying. You're a grown woman and you have to explain why you're going against the grain, because everyone was bred in that conveyor belt way of thinking. This is the way women are to behave. That's why a lot of people dog these other countries about how they treat women in society. And yes, we Americans have it a little better, and in some cases, a lot of better. The way of thinking is still pretty archaic here, too. So don't get on your high horse just yet, because we can be just as, demeaning to women as well, because we feel like they have to be so submissive to your every needs. No. Females will project themselves onto someone who they sometimes barely even know and just assume that it's their soulmate. Oh my goodness. I just met him in the elevator, and that is my soulmate. That's my soulmate. Yeah? What's his last name? I'll get to that, but right now, my soul. Shut your dumb ass up. Shut up. Shut up. Those were in my younger days. Well, they weren't too far. Mind your business. I personally don't believe in soulmates. I believe you get along for the time being, and that's it. Every relationship is wonderful when it's new. But come talk to me when he acts funny when he's around his friends or his family, and he sort of excludes you out of everything, or how he chews in public, or you smacking on your food in public like you don't have no home training. My damn soulmate ain't gonna do that. Don't get me wrong. Some people have a great connection. Like they're friends, and it's that friendship. Like, that's my dog. Like, we good. That's my boy, And some of them last. It's rare, but it happens, I don't personally know too many of these people, but I know they exist. I'm not that much of a perceived pessimist. They exist. If someone really is your soulmate and then they later cheat on you, do you ask how could their soul allow for such treason? Like, I know everyone is imperfect, and I know people will do what they want to do overall. People will make time for what they want to make time for. They will do what they want to do. But how could someone whose soul is tied to yours hurt you ever? My soulmate cheated. He cheated on me. Well, didn't you say he was your soulmate? Somebody's soul ain't linked. Somebody's soul isn't linked to yours if that person can hurt you that way. What do you mean he has a family on the side? Oh, somebody ain't got the same soul as you. But that's your soulmate, though. Humor me this. Out of 7 billion people living on this planet, you just happen to meet your soulmate who coincidentally lived up the street from you. 7 billion people in this world. 7 billion people. Let's just assume it's half and half, male and female. So obviously, if I'm talking male right now, well, just gonna say 3.5 billion men in this world. I met the one who's tied to my soul. Yeah, he lives right up the street. How do you know your soulmate is not in Uganda, Sierra Leone, London, Australia? How do you know he's not in Liverpool, in the UK? in Milan, in Egypt, in California, hell. But he lives right up the block. Okay. Many say marriage is all about compromise. That's great, and that's true. But sometimes it's more than just compromising. Sometimes you could really be changing for someone, changing for their happiness, change for the happiness of someone, and then you end up unhappy yourself. It sucks when you can't be comfortable and you can't be yourself. You may like to go to Comic Con, you may be into wearing the costumes and the Supermans and the Hulks. And okay, I ain't into that. I'll throw on a white beater and some jeans in a second, and that's my day, and I'm good. But it's interesting. It's fun to go and see all of these things people like. Just think about it. And I love watching those movies. Love them. Not necessarily sure I'd like to go to a convention and everyone is dressed that way, but at the same time, it's sort of thrilling. It's different. It's not going to work, coming home, going grocery store, going to school, go shopping, go. It's something different. Get out your comfort zone, okay? But what if I was that female that just hated it? I don't like that. So now he may love it, and he can't even share that with me. He can't even express that with me. And now the convention is in our city this year, and you feel like you can't go. You feel like someone who's getting robbed at Christmas or your birthday, or you can't even partake in something you love. You change just for my happiness. That's not a good feeling. And some people are doing it, on the smallest or the biggest levels. Some people are just compromising to where it is eating them alive. And it's not compromising no more. It's changing. And you shouldn't have to do that. In all reality, you are who you are. And only you can be the judge. A tiger will never change its stripes. No matter how much you try to conform, to adjust to a situation, a person, you can never change who you are. And neither can they. In newsflash, always that possibility that the person who you chose just may not be that one for you altogether. I made a bad choice. Think about it. Maybe this person isn't for me. And it's not, they don't like Comic-Con, so they're not for me. But for some people, that's the determining factor. And I tell females this: you have to choose what you will and what you will not put up with. And those are your guidelines. And that's it. They're not up for debate. They're not up for discussion. This is what I can deal with, and the type of person I need in my life. This is who they have to be or how they have to be. And that's it. That's it. That's it. How many of you know single acting married couples? Raise your hand. Let's take a moment to let that sink in. Single acting married couples. Those men who are married and they get to post it on social media, fantasy friend pics of their happy families, and they will sometimes make their wife the Women Crush Wednesday, but they in another female's inbox flirting with her, doing her DMs, just all up in her mentions, flirting as if everything's cool at home, and you trying to holler at the next chick. You married, bro. The women who are married, but they pretty much do all of the responsibilities around the house. So they're pretty much single mothers. What about those? Do you know any of those? They got to come home, deal with the kids, run them back and forth to football, basketball, soccer practice, baseball practice, track meets. But they're married. It's supposed to be your helpmeet. Two of you are supposed to be sharing these responsibilities, but the mother still got to get the groceries, cook the food, clean the house, do the laundry, make sure everything's good in the house, because the husband act like he works just as hard, and he may work just as hard, but work don't stop as soon as you hit that door and you just coming in laying your behind on the couch. We got a family that we still got to, and we got a household we got to make sure it's straight. Any of y'all know those people? Be honest. In my head, if she's going to be doing everything like she's single, and not always by choice, then she might as well be. I mean, am I wrong? I just don't like when everyone acts like marriage. It's not all it's cracked up to be. That's all I'm saying. And we all say what? You never know what goes on behind closed doors. Because you don't. So just because I have a piece of paper that says I was married now, and I'm married and could be living in a mental prison, a physical prison, a psychological prison, an emotional prison, a verbal abusive prison. Or it could be great. I'm not trying to make everything sound like it's doom and gloom. I'm not. I'm really, really not. In this society, it is taboo to think that I'm not a piece of property. It's taboo to say, I may not want a man attached to me for the rest of my life. I may not want a woman attached to me for the rest of my life. I may not want to be attached to anybody for the rest of my life. Just let me live, so make no mistake, I'm not trying to downgrade or downplay marriage or any choices that someone has already made or that some of you are soon to make or in the process of making. I'm just saying there's another side to marriage, and that's the side that I've been more privy to from my married friends through observation and conversation, them telling me what they really go through. I know some of you are still like, and that's okay. That's okay. You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to respond. And it's just like having kids. Having kids is not for everyone. It's not. Having kids is not for everyone. We see all these kids out here being mistreated. And then it's like, she should have never had kids. Is it Serotonin, Oxycontin, oxytocin? Those hormones don't kick in for everyone. They just don't. When a female tells you she doesn't want any kids, stop combating her. Why, girl? And you're the same one when you read the news story about a female mistreating her kids. She should have never had kids. Some people don't need to have kids. When someone tells you that they realize they don't have the patience, they don't have the time, or they don't want to ruin their body, they are well within their right to feel that way. And it's okay. If someone tells you they know their limitations, do not question them on it. Mind your fucking business. People feel like if they're not a woman unless they have kids, so you're not a woman unless you have kids. Again, being a woman is a state of mind. Because I could have 5 kids, right? In your book, I'm a woman. But I drop them off every weekend and every chance I get so I can go run clubbing. So I can be in the street. I'm up and down. I got all types of people in my house, keep my house nasty. But it don't matter because I'm a woman. I've had kids. No. Sometimes we got to learn to shut up. And we got to learn to mind our business. It's what you want to do. What is your choice? Whatever way the pendulum swings for you. What your friends want you to do, what your significant other wants you to do, your family, your mother, your grandmother, your co-workers. It's no one's choice but yours. Don't let anyone into one. I understand if it's something harmful, if you're talking to someone with that experience, hey, I've been there, these are the steps, or you may not want to go there because this, that, and the third. I get that. Taking advice and listening to someone who genuinely has true insight to share. That I'm not talking about. You do what's best for you, always. Some may perceive this as being, oh, you're, feministic and you're just narcissistic. Guess who cares? And guess who don't care? I have to make sure I'm happy every day. I have to make sure my children are happy. Make sure my family is good. So I'm just trying to tell somebody out there, I don't care if this goes to just one person and this hits you. You know what? I'm so glad she said that. And I don't care how people perceive this, because as many people that perceive this the wrong way, there's going to be just as many that perceive it the right way. And you get to that age where you realize, hold up, I run this show. You run yours. I run this here. Can't nobody say nothing to you. If you're not ready for marriage yet, it's okay. If you're not ready for children yet, it's okay. Marriage is for everyone. It's God's design. How many of you know married couples that split because of infidelity? So does it mean just being married and then you have carte blanche into whatever it is you want to do once you're married? Some people know their limitations and they know that they're not maternal enough to have children. Some people know that they can't be faithful enough to get married. You hear a guy keep saying to you, he's trying to tell you without hurting your feelings, I just don't know if I can get married. I don't know if I can be with one girl at one time. You really think he's being with you at one time right now? Because that feeling of uncertainty is not just in regards to being married. He doesn't feel like he can be with just one. Lord, I just said a word. He's telling you that he's probably creeping right now, low key. Sorry, fellas. You have to realize and listen to the cues that people give. They'll tell you what they're ready for and what they're not ready for. Again, I'm not saying that marriage is not for me, but I'm also saying reasons why it may not be for me. Now, I can come on here next year, have a ring, and y'all, oh, you said, should that be the case? This guy is amazing. Like, tune in for the next vlog. I don't know what's going to be the next reason why marriage may not be for me, but it'll come soon. Whatever hits me, I'm inspired to write. Blog, vlog. Yeah. Until then, it's whatever. I just don't know if he exists. Shit.